From the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, I'm Jenni Carlson here with Barry Tramel. This is where Oklahoma's women's basketball team will play Stanford tomorrow in the national semifinals. Women's Final Four, Barry. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Let's talk a bit about this game between Oklahoma and Stanford. What strikes you about this matchup, and where may the Sooners have most cause for concern?
Well, this is a classic size versus speed matchup. Stanford much bigger, Oklahoma much quicker. In the backcourt, Stanford basically has one player that really matches up well with either Danielle Robinson or Nyesha Stevenson. Going to have to do some mix and matching to keep up with the Sooner speed, but Oklahoma's going to be outsized underneath. Jane Appel, a fabulous All-American center. Stanford, very good rebounding team. It's a classic size versus speed matchup. The good news for the Sooners, they've done pretty well against big girls. 2-1 versus Brittany Griner this year in Baylor. So, it's not a bad matchup for Oklahoma.
Well, the player that may have to come bring it most tomorrow might be Amanda Thompson with her rebounding. She's the type of player that she is going to be at a size disadvantage, but nobody's going to give more effort than Amanda Thompson. I think that's safe to say. So she's going to have to bring that rebounding game that she's so well known for. I think she'll be ready for this game. I think that could be a really interesting part of tomorrow's game. Barry, let's talk a bit about Sherri Coale. This is a Final Four with star-studded coaches everywhere. Does Sherri need to win a national championship?
Well, she needs to eventually. I don't think this is the year to do it because the UConn Monster is here. But I talked to Doris Burke, ESPN analyst, doing the games for ESPN this weekend. Doris, huge fan of Sherri Coale, raved and raved and raved about her. But she said Sherri Coale's work is not done. Oklahoma needs a national championship. Sherri Coale needs a national championship to elevate that program and elevate Sherri's status to the ultra elite level.
Well, they're going to have to beat Stanford, first of all, to get that done. And Stanford has become sort of a rival in a weird way for Oklahoma. It started in the more recent era with a home-and-home series that there was a Stanford injury, but Barry, the NCAA selection committee, has done a lot to fuel this rivalry with pairing these two up in the same bracket. And here they are again. Talk a little bit about this rivalry and what has fueled it.
Well, fourth time in the 2000s these teams have met in the NCAA tournament. We had the sort of a nasty incident with Stanford at Norman several years ago in the regional. Lanisha Caulfield was involved in a collision. Tara Von Devere, coach at Stanford, not happy at all. I think the mood has softened between Coale and Van Devere. I don't detect near as much rancor, near as much contentiousness between the two coaches. I think they're not bosom buddies, they're not big pals, but I do think they respect each other, and I don't think the rivalry is as intense as it once was.
Well, I do think this is an old school women's basketball powerhouse in Stanford against one of the new kids on the block, Oklahoma. It's been a great game every time they've met so far. I think we're in for another great one on Sunday night. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.